Hello everyone, welcome back to latest update series of Trishti IAS. This is Divya Kavatra and we meet again to discuss monsoon and El Nino that are the topic of the year actually, because we have been discussing about the monsoon this year and especially the El Nino effect that we are going to have this year probably for a very long time. Now finally IMD has announced that monsoon has onset. It is the 4 days late, however. It was supposed to onset on 1st of June, but it has come on 5th of June. But anyway, it has hit with a strong fold. So up till now, things are fine. But how it unfolds and how it scatters across, that we will have to closely observe because it is going to affect our agriculture largely. Right? Our water availability, our already reluctant water sources, it is going to affect that largely. Yeah. So let's see first of all how this monsoon is coming up and what is the added El Nino effect and what is the comparison between El Nino and La Nina. We'll do all that. All right. So let's one by one discuss what is happening. For now, why is it in news? Because southwest monsoon has officially landed. Where? At Kerala coast. It was supposed to land on 1st June, but it has come on 5th of June. Okay, so IMD has already declared that we have our monsoon. But the question is, there's one question, like you must have seen even before today we witnessed rains, right? We witnessed rains, did you? In some parts of the nation, we were already witnessing rain. So was that not part of monsoon? Why didn't we say that monsoon had come earlier? Because apparently we had rainfall earlier also. Why only now do we declare that it has finally hit India? Right? So IMD has particular criteria according to which they say that if all the boxes tick, only then they say that the onset of monsoon has begun. Otherwise, it is just weather that is creating, it is just the seasonal weather that is creating rainfall, not the monsoon. Okay, we'll see that criteria also. Moving forward, first of all, let's understand the trigger mechanism of how monsoon is created. Okay, so a very basic thing that we have is, let's say we have our equator here. Okay, let's say we have our equator here. Above this equator, we have our 23.5 degree north and 23.5 degree south, the limit between which the sun travels, right? Actually, sun is not traveling, earth is rotating obviously, but still between this, the earth is going to go up and down, yeah? So the sun's position changes from 23.5 degree north to 23.5 degree south. Now, while there is a summer in the northern hemisphere, we obviously know that the sun is upwards, right? In the upward movement. And when the sun is in the upward movement, there is this block. Okay. There is this block, a small packet called ITCZ, Intertropical Convergence Zone. What is this? Intertropical Convergence Zone. Okay. So, as this is the point where air from both the hemispheres meets actually, right? From here it will bounce back and circulate. From here it will bounce back and circulate. So this is that point where the airs come up and meet. Okay, this is ITCZ belt. As the sun moves upward, this ITCZ belt also starts shifting upward. Once it has settled upwards, it creates this zone that attracts winds. Okay, this shifted ITCZ, it creates a monsoon trough. Okay, this zone is what we call the monsoon trough. Okay, this monsoon trough is acting like a low pressure zone that is attracting winds traveling from the high pressure zone, right? And now we know temperature and pressure are inversely proportional, right? Temperature and pressure are inversely proportional. Higher the temperature, lower the pressure. Lower the temperature, higher the pressure, right? So when we have summer in the northern hemisphere, that means we have winters in the southern hemisphere, right? So from the southern hemisphere, especially the American coast, we have winds traveling because there is a high pressure here. Why high pressure? Because temperature is very low. Why temperature is very low? Because it is winters here. Why it is winters here? Because sun has gone up and they're not getting as much of sunlight, as much of heat. Simple. So because sun has traveled up, the earth's rotation has done that, revolution has done that. So we have winters here. Because of winters, temperature is low. Because temperature is low, we have pressure high. So if high pressure is there, winds will start moving outwards. Right? Now because of summer, in the Indian desert lands or even above in the Tibet region, okay, in the India and Tibet region, the temperature is very high because there's desert land, right? There's plateau land, and because of that, the temperature is very high. And because of that very high temperature packet, we have very low pressure, right? And because of that very low pressure, the winds are attracted towards this monsoon trough. Do you understand that? Why we are calling this packet as monsoon trough? Because one ITCZ has shifted, that is already a monsoon trough. Then the temperature has gone up because of that low pressure has been formed. And once again, we have another monsoon trough. So naturally, these high pressure winds would want to land where? In this low pressure zone, because wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. So we have low pressure here, high pressure here. Winds will start moving from here. When winds move across the ocean, it moves across the ocean, it gathers moisture. The wind starts gathering moisture. Like this is the ocean, wind is flowing, it will start gathering moisture as it moves forward, right? The moment it hits land, it drains down all the moisture. That is monsoon rain, right? For example, when it hits Kerala in India, especially in India's respect, when we talk about it hitting Kerala, okay, what we see is that, what is happening? Here the winds will come and hit Kerala. Here we have the eastern and the western Ghats and the Nilgiri Cardamom Hills, right? Nilgiri Hills or Cardamom Hills. And the moment it hits, it gets bifurcated, right? It will come and hit, there will be a blockage, the winds will get bifurcated, right? And once it hits, it starts raining. Why does it start raining? Why does it start raining? Because just look at this. The winds are coming and there's a blockage. The wind is heavy. The wind is heavy. Why? Because of all the moisture it has carried. Why the moisture? Because it has been traveling upon the ocean. It is traveling from the Indian Ocean, it is traveling from the Pacific, everywhere, right? So it has a lot of moisture. Now, since the wind has a lot of moisture, will it be heavy? If it is heavy, it will be closer to the ground, right? To rise above, it has to lose some weight. It has to lose some weight. So what it will do is, the moment it hits the blockage, it will start raining, right? Once it pours down, wind will become lighter. Once it becomes lighter, it will rise above and cross the blockage, right? That way, when the wind hits, it starts raining. That is the concept of how this monsoon segment works. All right. Is that clear? Yeah. So how this establishes is, now in current monsoon state, what we see is that, just look at this diagram. This is what we have, the ITCZ at the low pressure belt that has shifted above. There is this bend here. Why is there a bend here? Because of the low pressure in the plateau region. Okay, because of the low pressure in the plateau region. And in this Tibetan plateau, there's a heat engine, right? Because of that, this ITCZ takes extra pull in that particular region, not anywhere else. You see that bend? That extra bend is because of that pressure zone. All right. So now the monsoon starts adventing. This southwest monsoon is coming. It will hit and create rainfall. Now just imagine that the wind would be, I'm giving you a statement, just think about it. High pressure to low pressure, that's how wind is moving. The higher the high pressure and the lower the low pressure means more gap between them. That means higher the gap between these two pressure zones, stronger the winds. Can you relate to this statement? Yes? Higher the gap, stronger the wind. Weaker the gap, lighter the wind. Yes? Yeah. So now what happens is, in case of El Nino, there are certain modulations. In these modulations, what happens is this zone is weakened up. This gap is brought down. If this gap is brought down, the winds would be weaker. If they are weaker, they won't carry as much moisture. They won't be able to reach India with lot of moisture. They won't be able to have rainfall here. Is that clear? That is a special condition when currents get reversed. When currents get reversed in the American region because of the lack of temperature zone, because of the lack of pressure zone. All right. And that is how the difference comes up. Okay. The onset is, how does the onset come? Because we have 4 checklists. We do this through 4 elements of checklist, right? Number 1 is the rainfall onset for 14 Kerala stations. We have to see that they hit the 14 Kerala stations. All the 14 Kerala stations, we need them. Okay. All the 14 Kerala stations should at least have 60% rain, that is greater than 2 mm. Okay, they should all have greater than 2 or 2.5 mm in 2 days of row. Let's take this as 2.5 mm in 2-day row, continuously 2 days row. Okay, the second is wind strength. They should reach up to 600 HPA. Okay, up to 600 HPA, and that is 4.5 kilometers speed, right? If they reach that, only then we will consider it monsoon. Lastly, there is cloud depth. That is OLR value must be 200 at least. Okay. If all the criteria are met, only then we will say that we have an onset of monsoon. Do you understand that? Yes. So this is how we consider. And the key stations, which are the 14 key stations? These are the 14 key stations: Minicoy, Amini, Thiruvananthapuram, etc., etc. Right? These are the 14 key stations. Wind has to hit first here, then give rainfall here of at least 60%, that is 2.5 mm for consecutive 2 days. Not just one, for consecutive 2 days, we need that. All right? Yeah. This is the normal condition of monsoon. However, there are abnormal conditions also that cause El Nino, La Nina, or Indian Ocean dipole. Okay, these 3 terms we need to understand. These 3 terms. Number 1 is El Nino. In conditions of El Nino, what happens is there is an abnormal warming of Eastern Pacific Ocean. If there is a warming there, that means the gap, pressure gap will not be higher, right? And that way we won't have strong winds. La Nina, abnormal cooling of Central and Eastern Pacific Ocean. It gets extremely cold. So winds are way stronger than the normal condition. That means excessive rainfall, which is again not good, because crops need, certain level of water. If there is excess water, they might get washed out. So naturally that is also bad for agriculture. But in any case, we have 2 conditions, El Nino and La Nina. And in case of positive Indian Ocean dipole, that is Western Indian Ocean, near Africa, it becomes warmer than the Eastern Tropical Indian Ocean. That means we are also attracting wind. Indian Ocean dipole. Why do we say dipole? The Tibet is attracting wind, but the Indian Ocean is also attracting wind because of its temperature. So that way we are pulling winds even stronger than normal condition. That is Indian Ocean dipole. You understand that? Yes, that is El Nino, La Nina, and Indian Ocean dipole, positive Indian Ocean dipole. Clear? Yeah. This is the condition. In case of El Nino, here we will have weak and shifted currents. In case of La Nina, we will have Walker circulation, that means stronger currents. In Indian Ocean dipole, we will have warm motion going here, negative IOD going here. So they will have individual currents, right? So that way we will still be attracting winds. Okay. Yeah. This is how the whole concept of El Nino and La Nina works. This year El Nino has been predicted. However, the current variation, if we see, is how it happens. We call it monsoon breaks. Okay, we call it monsoon breaks. If the IETCZ shifts further northwards, goes even further northwards, then over the central plains, etc. So this increases rainfall in the Himalayan slopes, right? So prolonged dry spells are there in the rest of India, leading obviously to loss of agriculture, etc. Okay. Yeah. So currently what is happening, current footprint is in Kerala. Next we expect it to go from June 5 to 7 in Goa and then Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, etc. And from June 8 to 9, Tamil Nadu, Bengal, and then heavily raining in the northeastern region. Okay, so we are expecting that by June 9, we will have heavy rainfall in the northeastern region. Okay, that is how the monsoon will advance through its path. Is that clear? Yes, that is the current situation. And this is the monsoon and El Nino concept that is going on right now. I hope this is clear. Do you understand the basic concept of high pressure and low pressure? Factors affecting it like ITCZ? Yeah? All right. So we have a question for you based on that. We have a question for you based on the Indian monsoon type. Read the question, pause the video, read the question, give us your answer in the comment section. All right. Okay, that's all for today. See you in the next video. Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.